Welcome, Scorpio, to your Venus in Aries deep dive video. From March the 6th through to March the 30th, Venus, the relator, but also the planet of money, moves through the fire sign of Aries. We can talk about Venus in Aries in isolation, but to really understand the impact on you, I'm going to share your event chart on screen. There are other planetary influences which are going to be really important over the next 25 days. I'm also going to share the upcoming influences too. At the end of the forecast, you'll have a clear picture of what you can expect in terms of your resources, but also your connections. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundell. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to the channel, please do so now. So on the screen is your event chart. Venus in Aries is a really refreshing influence in some ways. But if we think of essential dignities in astrology, it's known as being detrimented. Venus rules two zodiac signs, the earthy, sensual Taurus, very much about our appreciation of the good things in life, but also our need for good, solid foundations, our appreciation of security and stability, but also money. Its rulership of the sign of Libra, very much about balance, equilibrium, and relationships. So Venus for you is in house 6, which is very much to do with the practical domain. It can be to do with thoughtful gestures around our connections to others, whether it's at work or it is in the domestic sphere too. But you do have at the moment, Scorpio, a very large contingent in the very passionate, joyful fifth house, including your traditional ruler of Mars, which also is the sole domiciliary ruler of Aries. So the sign of Aries is about passion, but the sixth house is much more about practicality. So if you can blend the two together, you're going to be working well with Venus in Aries. But this set of energy here is suggesting at the moment you're wanting to bring more color and more variety and perhaps more richness into your social situation. And it could give you an extra confidence having Mars in the fifth house along with the sun. But it's just that Mercury, the planet of relating, is suggesting that there could be some changes of plan. But the fifth house can be about romance. And that, of course, is what Venus can be about too. In terms of Venus's rulership of Taurus, the fifth house can be about speculation and risk. So that could be around money. But Venus here immediately meets the rather delicate, dreamy, drifting energies of Neptune. If there is someone you're drawn towards, I think that combination almost straight away says keep it realistic. However much you may find them captivating, if for whatever reason the practicalities don't work, then it's not going to happen for you. But pretty soon, Venus meets up with Saturn. Saturn and Venus meet exactly on March the 8th. And if there is an imperfection around any kind of relationship, whether it's professional, personal, in the family, or with a friendship, it just will be highlighted and magnified because it's very difficult to see the big picture when we get Saturn and Venus together in the sixth house of perfection. And also, uh, the moon is located for you in the 12th house. So it may be, which can be about secrets or things that haven't discussed. And of course, the moon's in the sign that Venus rules of Libra. It may be that there's something that does come into the open as Venus applies to Saturn, and it may be a tricky conversation that needs to be had. Your enthusiasm can be huge with this cluster of energy in Pisces, but one of the best ways to deal with this is not dismiss it. Now, when we go into the second week of March, Venus is going to be forging a very constructive link to your modern ruler of Pluto. If you are wanting to transform uh, your everyday world in some ways by perhaps being more organized or efficient, just know that Venus can be about aesthetics. So if you can change your home space by decluttering, moving furnitures around, perhaps doing some redecorating, that would be a great way to use Venus to bring a better vibe to the practical dimension of your life and transform your home in some kind of way. But it's undoubtable that Venus in the sixth house, if it is about romantic connection, could happen over the next few weeks in very ordinary locations. Whether you bump into someone in a supermarket, whether it's at the swimming pool, the fitness suite, a club you attend, maybe a hobby group, all of these areas can actually prove to be quite convivial because the charm of Venus is going to emanate your connection to others, even if it is in these seemingly very mundane connections. Now, in week 3 of March, Jupiter, the planet of hope, optimism, and expansion, which goes direct on the 11th of March, forges a square with Venus. And that's really interesting. There may be someone that you bump into, encounter in that very workaday situation who actually is very inspirational in some ways. And quite soon, both your guards can come down and you could be having a fabulous conversation and doing something really enjoyable together. And it may be something like deciding to go to yoga or go swimming, play badminton, because of the sporty dimension of Jupiter in the ninth house, but the practical health benefits of Venus in the sixth. But by the end of the month, Venus is going to be connecting to Chiron. And if you are wanting to feel better about your identity, Chiron in Aries, but also do something more virtuous, that would be a great way also to make connections to others. So just to recap, Venus for you in Aries is in a part of your chart which is much more to do with thoughtful gestures than all out romance. It's just at the time Venus arrives, there is a very charismatic set of energies in your fifth house. So the energy you're going to be resonating at the moment is still very positive. In an ongoing tie or a developing one, there could be changes of plan with that Mercury retrograde. But if you're wanting to improve harmony in an existing tie, it's definitely around greater collaboration around everyday chores, practicalities, and demands. And when it comes to meeting somebody new, don't expect it can only happen online or in a nightclub or a bar. It could happen in the most mundane of situations. If you've yet to watch your in-depth forecast for March, please click on that video. If you've yet to watch your traditional ruler, Mars's journey through Pisces, please click that video. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please check my testimonials below. If you'd like to order your personal horoscopes, you can get 50% off. Please apply Astro 26 for the natal charts and Draco 26 for the karmic soul charts, Draconic. Thank you.